What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, Jinder Man 94, here to give you guys my WWE SmackDown Live review for October 25th, 2016. I'm actually going to review a very decent show instead of that horrible atrocity that was Monday Night Raw on Monday. I decided not to review that show, guys, because I just couldn't bring myself to actually caring about the show. One of the worst Raws of the year for me, to be honest with you. Everything they did just made no sense. And I'll eventually make a rant video on it because it was just so bad. Very, very terrible. The only good thing to take away from Raw was the Sasha Banks and Charlotte contract signing. That was the best part of Raw. Everything else was just ridiculous. But let's get into SmackDown because I pretty much enjoyed SmackDown, and I thought that I should come up here and give you guys a review for it. So let's get right into it. So SmackDown kicked off with Dean Ambrose backstage. He was preparing for his match with AJ in the main event because if he beats AJ Styles tonight, he becomes the #1 contender for the WWE World Championship. Now James Ellsworth is in the locker room, and he comes up to Dean. He thanks him for what he's done for him for the past couple of weeks, and he wants to be in his corner for his match tonight against AJ. Dean looks at him, he's like, I got this. I don't think I really need you out there. No offense, but hey, we can hang out later or something. But I got this covered. Don't worry about it. And he says, they'll hang out later. He doesn't really want him out there, but he didn't want to say it in a mean way. So yeah, we'll see what happens later on, but first match we got was Bray Wyatt versus Kane in a no disqualification match. And I left this match so confused, but so eager to see what was going to happen next. There was a curveball thrown in this. So they were having a good fight, and Kane was preparing a table spot on the outside for Bray to go through. So then, the whole Wyatt transition music hit, and then when the lights popped back on, Luke Harper was standing on the announce table. And then, of course, they started double-teaming Kane. Bray got the advantage in the match. Luke Harper was there to back him up if anything was to go wrong. So, Randy had to eventually come out, make his way to the ring, and help out his good buddy Kane, right? Yeah, Randy turned heel on Kane and hit him with an RKO out of nowhere. And I was so lost. Because, he came down, got in the ring, was about to help him. Luke Harper got the heck up out of there and was going to let Bray take that fall. And, as Bray is getting up, they're setting up for the RKO and the choke slam at the same time. And Randy Orton hits the RKO on Kane. I'm just like, whoa, hold up. I was not prepared for that. Randy Orton dropped a little promo later explaining his actions, and he pretty much said, if you can't beat him, join him. So what does this mean? Does this mean Randy Orton's going to become a member of the Wyatt family? Or is he going to do the whole destroy the Wyatt family from the inside thing that Daniel Bryan did a couple years ago? I'm interested to see what's going to happen here, but if Randy Orton joins the Wyatt family and is legit, then what the heck? Wow. Has Bray Wyatt's mind games finally destroyed Randy Orton? Or is Randy Orton playing mind games of his own? I'm interested to find out because that's all he said about it. And I want to see where this develops next week on SmackDown. I'm very interested in that though. So yeah, that was the end of that. We had AJ Styles backstage talking about James Ellsworth and Dean Ambrose. He said James looks like a melted action figure. He can't even lace his own boots. And he says Dean won't be laughing when he breaks his face tonight. And if he sees James Ellsworth, he'll be missing more than his chin. So AJ's done with the games. He's done. He's pissed off. He will break James Ellsworth in half if he sees him. And he's going to make Dean Ambrose wish he never even tried to mess with him. So we had, after that, Becky Lynch returned to SmackDown Live, but she was interrupted, of course, by Alexa Bliss. She was supposed to do an interview, but Alexa Bliss came out there to interrupt her. Says she knew Becky would lose her title as soon as they faced off, which is why she came up with the whole I'm injured thing, so they had to postpone their match. She says she's a world-class con artist. She was able to fool the fans, but not her. She says she's gonna make some more excuses when they face off again, and then the match is gonna get postponed again. She says her pathetic life means nothing. Alexa was golden in this promo. She said her pathetic life means nothing and she should just hand the title over. Becky said she has a snowball's chance in hell of winning that title, and she's crazy if she thinks she's just going to hand the title over to her. When they fight in a couple weeks, she's going to come out on top and retain the women's championship that she worked her ass off to get. Alexa ain't taking that title from her is what Becky's saying. And she's not handing it over either. Then they started, fighting with each other. And Alexa spray painted her back with like this yellow spray can or whatever. She made a reference to it earlier that she has like a yellow from the top of her head down to her spine or something like that. So yeah, I'm ready to see this match happen. I don't think Becky, of course, wasn't trying to get injured or anything, or trying to postpone the match as long as they did, but when they do have the match, it's going to be a good match between these two ladies. They know how to put on a great match. Alexa's heel work is getting better and better. Becky is, of course, awesome in the ring as usual, so they're going to have a great match when it finally does happen. I think it's going to happen on SmackDown Live. I don't know if they're going to be overseas or not, but I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll see it pretty soon. Next, we had the Acension versus the Hype Bros, a Survivor Series tag team qualifying match. As you know, Raw challenged SmackDown to 3 matches. One of those included a tag team match. I don't know if it's like 5 teams on 5 teams, which is going to be insane if they do that. But you had the Acension versus the Hype Bros here. The Acension worked over Zack Ryder for majority of the match. As usual, Mojo Rawley got in for that hot tag. They were able to take the match in victory with a Hype Rider and earn a spot on a SmackDown Tag Team Survivor Series squad. The only problem I have here is that the Acension are pretty much a joke. Like, you give them a vignette before the match saying that it's time for them to ascend, and they're no longer to be taken like a joke around on SmackDown. And, over the past couple of weeks, they've just been stalking these guys and, just having even more of a serious look to them. And then you have them lose. Like, come on, man. If anything, have the Ascension lose by disqualification, by destroying these guys. Like, just don't give... If they're not going to be on the Survivor Series team, at least make them look legit at the same time. That's one thing I disagreed with here. You could have had them destroy these guys. They still would have had their spot on the roster, and Ascension wouldn't have come out looking weak. Because it's the Hype Bros. You can't have a former NXT Tag Team Champion team like the Ascension that dominated in NXT lose to a team of Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. Doesn't make any sense. But that's okay. So we had Daniel Bryan backstage with Natalya. She's worried Raw will steal their thunder with the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view they have in the triple main event, which is something else I'm going to rant on in a different video. And she wants to still be the captain of the women's team for SmackDown Live, and she believes that'll be their way to swing the momentum over to the SmackDown side. I'm just like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Combat Hell in a Cell with Natalya being the captain. That makes perfect sense. But Daniel Bryan was like, I have a good idea. You have a match with Nikki Bella tonight. And there's 6 women on the SmackDown roster at this point. So whoever wins the match between you two will be the captain of the Women's Survivor Series SmackDown team. But the loser will not be on the team at all. But hey, nothing to worry about. You can beat Nikki Bella, right? And Natalya was like, yeah, okay, cool. So then we have the match. A match with purpose. It had nothing to do with the title, but it had ramifications for Survivor Series, because we're building towards that, since they don't have a pay-per-view before then. So we had a very solid match between Nikki Bella and Natalya. Nice wrestling match between these two. Veterans in the business who wanted to have the honor of being the captain of the Women's Survivor Series team. They fought hard in this match. Like, they were putting on great submissions. It was more of a technical match than anything. The finish found Nikki Bella fighting out of the Romero special, and she put Natalya in the John Cena STF. But it wasn't just a regular STF. She wrenched her leg and, claps both of her hands together. She had her arm around her neck and her leg and wrenched it together. It looked more sickening than when Cena does it. She turned that into a very, very, very more aggressive finishing move. And of course, Natalya had to tap out of that, as expected. And then, of course, Carmella comes to attack Nikki Bella after the match. So Nikki Bella is the captain of the women's the women's team for Survivor Series. And Carmella attacked her, hit her with a Bella Buster, and did the "you can't see me." I love this heel work by Carmella. I'm sorry, I don't care if nobody else enjoys it. I am enjoying it. The character development of her, from her being down at NXT to her being on SmackDown, is very, very different. I really didn't care for her on NXT until she started her singles run, which didn't last long. She had a great match with Bayley down there. But now, Carmella is great. She's way more important than most of the females on the roster on SmackDown or Raw. She's great. I'm sorry. I just enjoy what she's doing right now. Just the disrespect she's showing towards Nikki Bella is just freaking hilarious. But yeah, we'll see where this rivalry continues to go. But I love the fact that they're building more than one rivalry around the women. I would love to see Naomi be involved with something in the near future. You don't have to rush anything right away, but I would love to see her be involved in something. Give her something meaningful to do as well. But we'll see. We had Dean Ambrose backstage. Said he enjoyed AJ crying like a little girl over the past couple of weeks. And he's worried about getting his title back. And there's no more fun and games because karma is a 5-letter word for a female dog. And old girl has something in store for him, so there may be fun and games, but only for Dean. I like this promo from him. His promos have gotten way, way better than they were. He's becoming more catchy with it. They're starting to make sense. Like, he was pretty much saying that karma's a bitch, but it's going to unfold in his favor, and AJ is going to be the one that, catches the karma. So he'll still be able to have his fun and games. So that was pretty cool. You had The Miz come out with the Spirit Squad and the May Reese, talking about how tragic it is that Dolph is the IC champion. It's 16 days until the Dolph Ziggler IC Championship Burial Tour. I'm just like, dang! The Miz is savage, yo. He is savage. He don't give no fluffs anymore. He says he feels sorry for the fans that have to see Dolph Ziggler as the IC champion. He feels sorry for the legends that have to see Dolph Ziggler as champion. The vast history of the Intercontinental Championship is pretty much being wasted by having Dolph Ziggler as champion. That's what The Miz was saying here. So, of course, Ziggler came out. He says he feels sorry that the people have to listen to him talk right now. And he just, skip all this talking. I'll give you your rematch right now. It's 4 of you guys, and it's just me. Let's have this rematch right now. Miz was like, he'll accept it when he's good and ready, but if it's a fight Dolph Ziggler wants, he'll give him one. And they're all about to go attack him. And then, of course, Heath, Slater, and Rhyno, who've had his back over the past couple of weeks, come out and help him out. They get in the ring, pretty much trash talk each other for a little bit. And then Miz says, well, Heath, you're not even a legitimate champion. Like, you being tag team champion is worse than Dolph Ziggler being Intercontinental champion. You're a joke. And, they just went back and forth for a little bit. And it led up to The Miz putting the Spirit Squad against Heath, Slater, and Rhyno for the tag team championships, which Heath Slater didn't want to accept, but Rhyno was just like, we accept. That's all he said. And Rhyno has been very silent, as he always is, but just the one-liners that he has, just he's like, oh man, I got timeshares in Mexico, and I'm not saying I don't want to fight him, but, and then Rhyno was just like, we accept. Heath looked at him like, really, dude? Whatever, we'll do it. Okay, cool. So we had the tag team championship match between the Spirit Squad and Heath, Slater, and Rhyno. It was a solid match. We had The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, who were on commentary trash talking each other the whole time, which was great. The salesmanship of their rivalry is just incredible. I'm really enjoying the rivalry between these guys. I don't care for the Spirit Squad, though. They can just go somewhere. I didn't like them when they were here in the first place. I don't like them now. I hate them even more now than I did before. But yeah, it was a solid tag team match. It didn't go that long, of course. They were working over Heath Slater. Rhyno got the hot tag. Kenny got knocked off the apron into The Miz and Dolph's. Well, Miz and Dolph Ziggler were outside, right in front of the announce table, you know, about to go at it. They were about to throw them fisticuffs. But Kenny Dykstra got knocked off the apron onto the Miz. Mikey got distracted. Heath Slater got the heck up out the ring, and Rhyno gored him to hell. And they were able to retain their tag team championships. So that was pretty cool. I didn't think they were going to lose anyway, but yeah, Rhyno hit the gore of all gores. Dean was heading towards the ring for his match and everything. He saw James Ellsworth. He was sulking. He was a little upset, a little sad. He was pretty much just saying, you know, he was just trying to repay the favor that Dean has given him over the past couple of weeks. He just wanted to be in his corner. He just wanted to be out there for his friend that he made. Dean has made him, you know, become a winner instead of the loser that everybody has always said he was. Dean finally took pity on him, was like, all right, you can come out there. Just be careful. So they have the match, Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles. And the ramifications of this match, if Dean wins, he becomes the #1 contender for the WWE World Championship. So, of course, Dean got off to a fast start because AJ was distracted by Ellsworth outside the ring. He threw a shirt at him and, you know, was more focused on him than he was at Dean. So Dean got off to the fast start in the match. It appears that his mind games have worked, at least for a little bit. Even AJ went as far as to going outside the ring and attacking James Ellsworth, which was a distraction he was able to create as Dean went out there to check on him, and he was able to get the advantage during the match. But it was a great match, more technical than it normally was between these guys. Dean was more technical in this match as usual, than usual, I mean. Back and forth pure wrestling match, and it was great. The innovative offense of AJ Styles and the counter-striking style of Ambrose really meshed together well, really told a good story here. These two wanted to kill each other. They didn't care what moves they pulled off, as long as it hurt the other person, they would risk their bodies to do it. Dean did the suicide dive, which I still think is going to kill somebody one day. You know, they were just back and forth submission holds and everything else. AJ drop kicked the life out of James Ellsworth on the outside and was, you know, pretty proud of it. James Ellsworth fired up like Hulk Hogan and got so pissed that he hit AJ Styles with another no chin music on the outside. The only difference is this time he wasn't in the match and the ref saw him plain as day and he was happy. He's like, yes, I got my revenge on AJ. Stop hitting on me. Leave me alone. Sweet. And then he turned around to celebrate and he looked at Dean Ambrose like, oh God, I just cost you the match, didn't I? Oh no, I didn't. Please tell me I didn't. And Dean's pleading with the ref. He's like, no, he didn't mean to do it. No, please, don't disqualify. No, please. And the ref disqualified him. And AJ Styles won the match, meaning Dean Ambrose is not the new #1 contender for the WWE World Championship. You just could tell. You had young James Ellsworth on the outside crying on the apron, knowing he messed up. Knowing he was just trying to be there for Dean, but AJ kept messing with him, playing his own mind games, and got a little bit of comeuppance, as he knew eventually James Ellsworth would snap and attack him, meaning that he would win the match by disqualification. And it just worked so perfectly. I like what they did here. AJ didn't look like a fool. All his attacks were for a specific reason, because he could attack James Ellsworth without getting disqualified, but the moment somebody from the outside attacks him, that's when he picks up the win, and he screws over Dean Ambrose in the process. So storyline development, character development here, I enjoyed every aspect of it. We'll see where it goes from here. Dean looked like he wanted to kill James Ellsworth. Maybe he'll do that next week. We'll see. But SmackDown was very enjoyable for me. Only thing I didn't like is just the Acension looking like a joke. But other than that, everything was perfectly fine by me. What did you guys think of SmackDown? Did you enjoy the show as a whole? Did you not like it at all? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys thought of Raw as well. I'm going to do a rant video. I don't know when, but it's going to be about why SmackDown Live is better than Raw. and it'll be coming soon. I'm not sure how soon, but it'll be coming. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. Slap a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you guys are new. Definitely helps out the channel. And thank you guys for watching the video. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.